Hey everybody, it's Christy from Mentally Kills back with another interview. Today I have Blanka and I'm excited for you guys to meet her, so I'm going to bring her out. Hi, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you, Christy?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's a nice day. It's a weekend, so I'm feeling great.
Yeah, same here. Like beautiful and sunny in London. Still a bit of sunshine, a bit of summer. So yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I'm clinging to the last of summer. I'm a summer baby. I love the heat. I went outside this morning. It was a little chilly and that affects my attitude, cuz I'm like that means summer's gone. No more swimming, no more sunshine. It's going to get cold and miserable.
Well,
So
you just need to keep, sunshine in your soul and you will be fine. Keep
that's
positive.
absolutely right. I love that. I love that. So I like to start these interviews by giving you a chance to tell the audience about yourself and where you're from and what you do. So I'll give
Yeah,
you the floor to
absolutely.
start.
Thank you. So yeah, first of all, thank you for having me. My name is Blanka. I am currently based in London, UK, but I'm originally from Czech Republic. I've been living in London for past 13 years. And what I do, what I'm very passionate about, is to help people who are struggling with something. It can be mental health, it can be physical problem, it can be relationship, habit, something that they are like, I'm done with this, it's time to move on, but they don't know how. And then they usually reach out to me, and I'm kind of like the transformational tour guide who helps them to see, look, this is the past. It's okay. You can make your peace with it and move on. So that's what I really enjoy to do, what I'm passionate about, and what I would love to talk to you today about as well.
Yeah, you know what? And I love that because I see 1,000 coaches geared towards one specific thing, but you're not geared towards one specific thing. You're come to me with anything. You don't have to have a mental illness. It's just something that you need help moving out of and getting into a different mindset or a different way of living. That's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, because like if you think about it, we are all humans. We are social animal, right? We all
Right.
want the connection. We all want to feel that belonging. We all want to feel loved, feel appreciated. But sometimes there is something within us that kind of is, blocking that. Maybe we heard like a stories in our past from our parents telling us, you are not bright enough, or you can't do this, you are not good for anything. If you want to follow your dreams and become, I don't know, let's say musician, how are you going to provide for yourself? So all of these like thoughts and patterns and beliefs that we form in childhood, if we don't heal them as adults, because actually now we are like, I'm responsible for my life, they will just keep repeating, they will just keep going on, but we are not conscious about them. They are subconscious.
Right.
And yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, you mentioned parents, and I love that you said that because a lot of people don't realize that, our way of thinking about ourselves and the things we do has a lot to do with how our parents made us feel when we did things or how they wanted us to do things. That's not always necessarily right. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, like for me personally, it took lots of healing and lots of therapy sessions for myself. Actually, how I found RTT. That's what I do today as a client, first of all. And it helped me. And it's just realizing, you know what? My parents, they are people as well. Like, stop seeing them as gods who know everything and, have the key to every single door and have answer to every single question, but see them, hey, they are people as well. They make mistakes.
that's right.
Maybe they didn't meant to do this to me. They are actually not even aware, possibly, how they might affected me. And making that peace with yourself, it's just such a huge stepping stone to, getting that freedom and be like, okay, this is what happened, but now this is my life from now on, and I'm going to do it my way.
And I love that because I think that's where people are stuck. They're stuck in, okay, my parents caused, let's say, this, caused my way of thinking this way, or caused this mental health condition, or caused whatever the case may be. But they don't take that next step to, my parents are human. I'm going to forgive them for me and I'm going to move on because it is my life. Most people spend 75% of their lives chasing their parents' approval. But at the end of the day, whose approval do we really need? Ours. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And like, I don't know, like in my case, I actually grew up in an environment where my father, for example, was very critical. And there was always like, thousands of reasons why something might not work.
Yeah,
And when I was coming to him with ideas, he was kind of, just telling me the way how to improve everything. So, like, nothing was ever good enough.
yeah,
And until I kind of came to point of realization that he's not doing this because he wants to hurt me, that he was doing this because this was his way of showing me love and attention and appreciation, then until that point I wasn't able to have like an open and honest conversation with him.
right.
Yeah, it was like always something that was kind of stopping me and be like, okay, actually, whatever you are saying, I'm not listening because I'm still angry at you.
Right. Sorry, my fan kicked on, so I had to mute that a little bit. Sorry about that.
That's okay, no worries.
And that's absolutely right. A lot of the times our parents, when they come to us and they say like, no, this needs to be different or this needs to be done this way, it's not because they don't feel like we're not good enough or what we're doing isn't good. It's just this is the best way they know how to help, and that's not always beneficial. They don't realize
Hmm.
that because they don't know any better. That's just what they were conditioned and how they were raised. So
Yeah, exactly. And actually, there is like a really good meme or story that kind of goes around about a lady who is baking something in the oven or roasting something in the oven. I think it's a chicken. And she is cutting off the legs before she puts the chicken in the oven. And, this is kind of like a recipe which is passed from generation to generation to generation. And until the daughter starts actually questioning, why do we cut off the legs? Like nobody actually asks. It's almost like, this is how we do it here. And then the daughter goes to grandma and she's like, can you please tell me why do we cut off the legs of the chicken? Because, we can eat them as well. And she's like, oh, honey, we had such a small oven when I was growing up. So I had to cut off the legs. So actually, I could fit it in. So there is like only that reason, but people just in that family would be following it through because that's how it's done.
and I love that. I love that little story. It's like the perfect way to describe that kind of situation. And it's the same with behaviors. It's the more behaviors, like how we treat our kids, how we raise our kids, or how we talk to each other. It's just something we've learned. It's a learned behavior. Not stopping to think like, is this the right style of behavior? Or is this the best way that I can behave or handle this situation? Nobody ever stops to think about that, and that's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
So I know you have a website. It is across the bottom called Be Free. Tell us
Hmm.
about it. What is that?
So my website is something that I'm actually very passionate about. It's the work that I do. So if you go on befreewithblanka.com, there will be like a bit about what I do, the work that I do, the rapid transformational therapy sessions that I offer to my clients, as well as a bit of story about me. So my surname actually Volna in Czech, which is my native language, means to be free.
Beautiful.
And thank you. It took me a long time to actually understand that, I have the name for a reason.
That's right.
I, I used to fight it because in Czech, especially when you are growing up, the kids can be mean and they kind of, always found something to make fun of me. It's like, Volna, she has free, I don't know, whatever. It's almost like a bullying or, attacking you because of something. So for a long time, I used to hate my surname. When like teachers at school would say my surname, I knew that something was wrong, that maybe I wasn't, behaving correctly or whatever. I'm like, okay, they are not calling me Blanka, they are calling me Volna. What happened? Like alert, alert.
What did I do? What did I do?
Yeah, exactly, right?
So
Yeah.
my actually fun fact now that you said that, my name is Christy. It's spelled Christy, and it actually means bringer of light. So, little fun fact right
Wow.
there. Yeah. Um, it's I mean, I didn't have trouble, accepting it. I was just like, nobody has this name. It's weird, So, now I know like at least 100 people who have the same name spelled differently, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's a little normal. So,
But it's beautiful. I love it.
yeah, but it's just fun that you said that. Coming into your name and accepting it is kind of like you accepting yourself and your so to speak mission in life, or purpose. It's beautiful
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even, coming up with the name of your website, it's like, how are you actually going to name it? Like, am I putting what I'm doing on it? Am I going to call it therapy? But then I tried to do that and it just didn't resonate. And I kind of had it in like build stage for half a year or something. And it just wasn't coming together. And then such a small shift, like, let's just go with what I feel is the right thing instead of saying, therapy, blankavolna.com or something along these lines. And it's just has a different feeling as well to it. So, yeah.
And you know what? I love that because, when you say therapy, people immediately assume mental illness. But you do more than that. You help people with physical conditions. You help people who are just stuck, in a rut and need guidance on how to move forward with their lives. So I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even, for me, like growing up, if you had to go for therapy, it's almost like something is wrong with you. There was
Yes.
like such a huge stigma on it, only people who are either super rich or people who have serious mental health issue will go to therapist. But today there are so many different modalities. Like you have the traditional talking therapy, for example, but that actually might not work for majority of people because you are not really getting to the solutions. You kind of just going through the same story over and over. So what I do is actually putting people in hypnosis, which might sound a bit scary for some people, but hypnosis is like very relaxed state. It's like we actually go by ourselves to hypnosis on daily basis. We go in and out of trance without even knowing it. Let's say you are watching a movie or you are driving familiar road and you just go on the autopilot where
Yes.
you don't know how you got there or you got so absorbed into what you are doing that your mind just switches off and then you drive to your home and you're like, how did I even get here?
Right. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Or
Yeah.
daydreaming. For me, I stare off the space a
Mhm.
lot. A lot.
Yeah,
So
as well.
we do that a lot. And I mean, I think that could be fun for people who maybe not don't feel comfortable talking about things that bother them, or maybe they're not sure what bothers them or why. Going into that, hypnosis or hypnotic state, you're kind of letting your brain speak for you. So I think that's really cool.
Exactly, yeah. So basically, what happens is you are working with your mind. So we override the conscious mind that's like, constantly running, constantly thinking, I need to do this shopping. I'm going to have this for dinner. I'm meeting friends tomorrow. I need to be at 10 o'clock there. I need to do this for work, blah, 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 like running, running, running. That mind is switched off. And then you actually access the subconscious mind, which has all the answers and it already like knows what is going on. So it's not, me or a therapist, hypnotherapist telling the client what is going on. It's them giving you all the answers and then me just kind of linking together and helping the client to understand. Like I'm pointing them in a direction and sometimes even giving a question or just holding a space. It's really gentle in a way.
Yeah, I kind of see it as like you're doing a puzzle, and you're getting stuck because all the pieces are all a mess and all over the place and you're overwhelmed. Where you step in and say, hey, let's start by pulling out all of the corner pieces first. Let's lessen this load so that this is a little bit easier to understand. They're going, oh, okay. And then they do the puzzle themselves, to put it together. And if they get stuck again, they'll go, well, what should I do? And then you say, all right, well, since we've done this already, let's now separate what's left by color to make it easier. And they go, oh, okay, okay. And then they keep going. So it's just kind of you giving a tip to say, hey, this is what, like a push, on a swing, a gentle push in the right direction.
Yeah, and actually I like this analogy of puzzle because I love to solve problems. My other
Yes.
job is in IT and I actually do debugging of the software.
Oh, nice.
So sometimes I even saying that I'm debugging the minds because it's kind of similar principle.
Yeah.
It's like, finding out what is actually wrong. So let's say the bug in a software in the human mind. And then with the client, they kind of have the vision of, how the future looks like and what do they really want if this problem, if this issue wasn't there. And then we kind of, untangle the whole thing and help them to move on towards that future. So they actually can see and hear and feel whatever they want because the mind is super powerful. And one of the rules is actually it works on a basis that it doesn't recognize what is reality and what is the vision. So it doesn't know. So if you give your mind like better commands and you keep focusing on what is it that you really want instead of what you don't want, which so many people do, it's actually start, bringing you to the direction of your dreams and those visions and having that amazing future.
Beautiful. I love that. So, we're going to get towards the end here. So, what I like to do now is number one, I'm going to put up your Instagram for anybody who wants to find you. And of course, our website's at the bottom. I want to also remind everybody watching, this is not just for mental health conditions. This is just for anybody who needs that gentle push, or anybody who's looking at all of those puzzle pieces and says, I don't even know where to start. That is what this is for. And that's beautiful. So I'll let you have the floor to either give, final piece of advice, more information about where to find you, and then we'll end it from there.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. So, piece of advice would be really focusing on to what you want. Like sometimes it helps to just stop and doing a meditation or doing some exercise if you like to go to gym and shift that energy and just really tune into what is it that is your heart desire. Because so many times we tend to follow the other people, society, Instagram, like want to be like somebody else. But who are you? What do you actually want for yourself? Like, what is your biggest dream, biggest vision? And then start from there. Like, what helps me is to write it down and then, just break it down into little pieces and like put some action steps together. Like, if I have all the time and money, in a world, what can I start doing today? What is the one step that I can take? Because we might get overwhelmed with this huge vision, want to save the world or be a public speaker on international stages, for example. And then it's like, wow, okay, so there is a TEDx stage, but how do I get there? Maybe just like making that one connection or reaching out and be like, hey, I would love to talk about this topic. And just by, doing this little bits of progress every single day, we can start that ball rolling and then it kind of starts snowballing and getting bigger and bigger and stuff just starts coming into our lives. So focus on what you want. That's very important thing, and that's one advice I would leave with the listeners today.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate you taking the time and interviewing. And again, we'll be putting the information in the comments and in the description of where we can find you. And yeah, we'll go from there. I'll get my little closing marks and I'll be right back with you.
Thank you very much, Christy. Thank you for having me and for being able to share my message with your listeners. If anybody out there is listening, just reach out. The consultation is for free. We can have a chat and then decide if we want to work together or if there is even maybe somebody else who's more suitable. But yeah, reach out, talk to me. I'm very open to have a conversation with you. Thank you.
That's right. Thanks. All right. So to summarize, a lot of the time we spend looking at all of these jumbled puzzle pieces and it's a giant mess. And we forget the biggest part is to look for direction. We look at the puzzle box, right? To see, okay, all the greens are in this corner, all the reds are in this corner, but why don't we do the same for our own problems? We have wonderful people that are willing to help. Consultations are absolutely free. It never hurts to reach out. Take control of your own life again and put it in the right direction. And with that being said, this has been another Mentally Kills podcast interview. I'm Christy, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.